Well, we're kicking off today in London, just underneath Battersea Power Station, feeling very Pink Floyd. It's Union Friday, which means it's a big campaigning day across the country in London as well. We're going to go out a bit later with some of the campaigners, and really things just start to sort of build from here. I worked it out today, it's about 1,000 miles that we'll be travelling over the next 2 weeks in a bus that's extremely slow. I have to say, I watched Question Time last night and it was absolutely depressing. Like, the crowd were kind of baying for blood of politicians, and you suddenly realise that the vacuum is being created into which the BNP could easily step. So it's kind of been quite sobering and reminded us why we need to send the bus around the country to bring hope into people's lives.
London South Bank have come down today, and they're going to turn out a load of students who are busy revising in the library at the moment, and they're all going to come downstairs and say hello to the Hope Not Hate bus tour as it kicks off.
So what we've done is we advertise, we promote, we put tables outside, we hang posters around, we made sure that we got the coach in here with the lady mirror with the students up in here, if you can see at the back, so over there, so to make sure that we do create awareness, and hopefully that will work out and get more people to vote for the European elections.
Today is Union Friday. This is the day that trades union branches across the country are coming out to show their support for the Hope Not Hate campaign and their complete rejection of the BNP. Because the BNP are bad news for British workers. They've tried to hijack, the kind of whole issue around migration and British jobs and British workers to turn it into a real racist agenda that divides worker from worker. And the trades union movement wants to send out clearly a message that we reject the BNP, we reject their policies, and in fact they are bad news for British workers. So right across the country, from Preston and Carlisle, where the RMT are going to be doing stuff for Union Friday, through to sort of Birmingham, where Unite and Unison are doing some work there, right down here to London, and then across the southeast of England. I mean, literally from one end of the country to the other, the trades union movement is coming out with a strong message of hope not hate. The BNP are sort of trying to play at the moment on the idea that they're sort of cleaner than clean. But the reality is they're just as guilty as any other politicians, any other major party at the moment.
Hope Not Hate is a simple message, it's a positive message, it's about what we're in favour of, not just what we're against, and I hope people will rally to this banner, and most importantly that they come out and use their vote on June the 4th.
With the job cuts that are coming, it's very easy to see that there'll be much greater divisions socially, especially over issues like migration. And there's such scarcity of things like council housing, it'll be very easy to scapegoat ethnic minorities. And, we've got to really stop that.
The last thing we want to see are BNP representatives in the European Parliament. I mean, we've fought long and hard against racism in our country, right back to the 1930s when we fought fascism, Hitler and all that he stood for. And really, the BNP stand for a movement backwards. They're out of touch really with what people want. They don't really represent the people of Britain, and we need to wake people up to the fact of the danger that they pose.
Yeah, the bus is really nice. Really big and awesome. I really love what you're doing. Like, you keep it real.
Like, totally. Like so totally. It's like totally.
It's very encouraging. Yeah.
The whole point of this campaign is cross-party. It's involving as many organisations and groups as possible, and that's the importance of it, to show that really the BNP are so on the margins that they really don't represent anybody apart from their own self-interest and a few racist thugs. That's what we need to keep reminding people. And I think that the great majority of the British population do not share the BNP's views at all, and I think we'll recognise that on June the 4th, and I'm confident that the British people will not elect BNP representatives to the European Parliament.
We need to make sure people understand that there are positive votes which are not votes for extremist views, and if people look at the BNP and look at their record and look at what they really say and look at their manifesto, it's not all about treating people equally. It's not actually about a record of good service where they've been elected. They've got a poor record of service. But above all, they have a divisive message, which is to say that only one class of people, namely white, British-born people, deserve the best of political representation. That's both wrong in principle, it's wrong morally, and it's clearly wrong politically, and we have to just expose that and not allow people to be deceived by the argument that they will look after people better. there's no evidence that they would at all.
Just wanted to come down and make sure that leaflets got into the public's hands to make them vote and make them think about the issues surrounding the BNP and get them hopefully to vote for other candidates in the elections. Really, we've got to get the message across that if you don't vote, then fascists will get into power, and that actually that has got to be a much worse situation for the country as a whole. I mean, I think, you know, we've got 1.4 million members, so we can access a lot of people and their families and their friends, and so talking to people directly, getting them to understand the issues and why it's so important that people vote. We know that voting patterns have really reduced over the years, and it's really important that people just express themselves properly and make sure that we keep these people out of power.
What we're doing on Union Friday, we've got a group of Unison staff and lots of Unison members out leafleting, working with Searchlight, campaigning against the BNP. Unison is campaigning against the BNP all year round, but Union Friday is a really great day for us because we want to use one day to get trade unionists active, to give a little time, give an hour, give 2 hours, spread the message. It's important for us, it's important for Unison and Unison members and public sector workers that the BNP don't take office, don't get elected on June the 4th. So we're campaigning, we're running stalls, we're running leafleting, we're out with a Searchlight bus, having a good time, but spreading the message, get involved and tell people not to vote for the BNP. It's actually been really well received. People are taking the leaflets, they're hearing the message, they understand what we're doing, and we're having a nice time engaging with the public. It's great, it's giving it some attention, and we're getting back on some of the issues about why you should vote against hate. Politics isn't just about MPs and expenses, it's about ordinary people and things that affect their lives.